As promised, here's a breakdown of my most anticipated geek movies of 2020. Welcome to the newest episode of SDW.
Super Dario World!
It's a me,
Dario!
Woohoo! Let's go!
Alright, so before I get into it, was anybody else watching fucking NFL playoffs? It's nuts. It's nuts. The Ravens are out. I actually got home and I was like, alright, okay, I'm going to just get into doing it. I'll go straight into recording, and then I saw the score and I was like, I gotta watch this. What the hell is happening? The Saints and the Ravens are out. What the hell is happening? Oh, and it was great. It was great. I love it. That's what I love about the NFL. That's what I love it. We're talking about predictions. I actually had the Ravens to go all the way to Super Bowl and lose to the Seahawks. Now, I don't know what's happening. But it was fun to watch. I love surprises. But before I get into it, I'll go straight into the list. But before I get into it, let me just give you a quick reminder that you can listen to the podcast anywhere. SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, Google Podcast, Podcast Addict, anywhere as Super Dario World Podcast. You can also contact me on Instagram at Dario the Show or at Super Dario World. Any comments, questions, or suggestions, send them right there. Easiest way for you to contact me. Or also follow my fan page on Facebook, Super Dario World. I update everything there. I actually found a new feature here, a new neat feature on the website I use that allows me to send the link directly there if you want to listen to it. So I guess it makes it even easier. I don't know. Anyway, point is I'm easy to find. Right? It's easy to find. But okay, enough of that. Let's get into the most anticipated geek movies of 2020. And I have to clarify once again. Clarified last time for the ones of 2019. I have to clarify for this one. This list is based on the information that I have as of right now, and it's only movies that have an actual release date. If it doesn't have a release date, I try to not put it in the movie, all right? Well, not put it in the movie, damn it. I try to not put it on the list, mainly because I've been burned before. And it sucked. It sucks to be really hyped for a movie, and then all of a sudden you hear like, well, it's been delayed. Well, one thing is that it's been delayed after it has a release date, and another thing is like, all right, it's coming out this year, and then nothing. You get nothing. So, yeah. I learned from my mistakes in the past, so now only movies that have a release date. Geek movies that have a release date of the year. Because there's a lot of movies that I'm really looking forward to, but they're not geek movies, so I'm not putting them here, all right? So, got that out of the way. And just as I did for 2019, where I mentioned the worst movie, here are the two movies that I think are going to be the worst. I'm not exactly sure which one is going to be worse, but I'm pretty sure that these two are going to be at the bottom, all the way at the bottom of the list. So, worst two movies of the year will probably be either The New Mutants, which has been delayed forever. For fucking ever. I remember I've had this movie on my list like 3 times already, like 3 years. It just keeps getting delayed and delayed. It's basically a mutant superhero movie. It's a superhero movie, but a horror. It's like a horror X-Men movie. It's really weird. At first, it seemed interesting, like an interesting concept, but it's been delayed so many times. That's really not a good sign. And this is the final 20th century X-Men movie, which have all sucked. So, yeah, it's not looking good. But supposedly, it comes out April 3rd. We'll see, okay? You burned me before. We'll see if you actually come out. The other movie that I think it's going to suck comes out on July 31st, and it'll be Morbius. For those of you who don't know, Morbius is a character from the Spider-Man universe, and basically he's a vampire. I think that's fair. Yeah, he's basically a vampire. He will be played by Jared Leto. Here's the thing, though, about the movie. First off, I didn't like Venom. I know a lot of people like Venom. I thought it was stupid. The movie made no fucking sense. It had a gigantic plot hole. Venom wasn't even in San Francisco. It completely ruined every single thing in the Spider-Verse. Like, it really ruined Venom. Honestly, it was really, 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 really stupid. I hated it. And it sounds like this one's going to be in the same vein, except the director, kind of mediocre, and the writers, not that great either. I mean, dude's written The Last Witch Hunter, which was kind of bad, and Dracula Untold. So, not a big vote of confidence on this one. So, yeah. Probably bottom tier of 2020. You will... I mean, I'll probably watch them if I get the free press thing, and I'll let you know if it's worth your money. But if I have to make an educated guess as of this moment, they're probably not going to be worth your money. Anyway, so moving on. Let's go on to the top 10 geek movies of 2020. The ones that I'm most excited for, or that I think are gonna suck. So at number 10, which comes out February 2nd, which will be pretty soon. It's Birds of Prey. This is the Harley Quinn movie. The full title is like Birds of Prey: The Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. That's really too fucking long, so I'll just say Birds of Prey. And I've talked about this one before when the trailer came out. The movie looks dumb. It's based off of the really dumb Suicide Squad movie, which really sucked. Now, Harley Quinn was the only bright spot in that movie, but she makes no sense in the world of Birds of Prey. Like, I've talked about this before, and it seems like they wanted to make a Birds of Prey movie, and they wanted to make a Harley Quinn movie, and they're like, oh, well, we'll just mash them together, but the action looks really stupid, and I don't see them mashing together. I've talked about this multiple times. I've even read the list of every single character that's been in the Birds of Prey, that's been a part of the Birds of Prey. Harley Quinn has never been in it, so how she'll mash up, I don't know. It just seems really, really stupid. And the action looks really stupid in the movie, and let's just say I have very little to no faith on it. Little to no faith. Moving on. So number 9, I have, it comes out, I need to learn how to read months here. No, it comes out November 20th, and this is Godzilla vs. Kong. Now, why is it all the way at the bottom of the list? Because I'm a big Godzilla guy, right? But because I've been burned so many times before by the Godzilla fucking movies. I was so excited for the previous Godzilla one. I was so excited. And it's the King of Monsters. And it sucked for the most part, except for the kaiju fight. If you're giving me a big kaiju fight, the part where Godzilla's fighting Ghidorah, Rodan, all that stuff, that was great. The 20 minutes where it's a monster fight, it's a fucking epic movie. Every single thing else sucked. And it's actually on par with actually not on par, because you remember the first Godzilla movie of this trilogy? It was okay. They tried to make a disaster movie with Godzilla, which is fine. It's acceptable. I'll allow it. It was enjoyable. But for the second one, if your movie's called Godzilla, and Godzilla is not a major part in it, and you have stupid-ass human characters that do stupid-ass annoying things, it did not go. Let's say I wasn't a fan. I liked the new Kong. I really liked Kong. I enjoyed it. But we'll see. Let's just say I'm being cautiously optimistic, but I've been burned before. Okay? Even, I'll be happy if it's just 20 minutes of the movie that's Godzilla fighting Kong, I'll be happy with it. But it sucks having to sit through a 2-hour movie where only a quarter of it is any good. So, that's why it's all the way at the bottom of the list. Now, number 8 of my most anticipated geek movies of 2020, I have The Eternals. Now, this one comes out on November 6th. And for those of you who don't know, the Eternals, they are Marvel characters. They're superheroes. It's not a superhero team, but they're Marvel characters. They're basically demigods. And, well, as their name suggests, Eternals. They protect the Earth from a group called the Deviants, which is basically their counterparts. It's got a great cast for the most part. I mean, it's got Rob Stark in there. It's got Angelina Jolie, Salma Hayek. It's got an interesting cast. However, my big concern here is that, first off, the director, Chloe Zhao, has never done anything superhero related. And it's a big fucking difference jumping from, let's say, a $1, $2, $3, $5, $10 million movie into a $150 million movie, which is what Marvel superhero movies are. And this is a franchise that's not very well known. It's kind of like the Guardians of the Galaxy that wasn't really well known, except this ain't James Gunn directing it. So I wouldn't be as bothered because for putting in a newbie director there, except that the writers for the movie have only ever written short films. So you got a newbie director and kind of an unknown franchise and newbie writers. Ugh, that's a recipe for fucking disaster, all right? However, it is still Marvel, it is still Disney, so they may pull it off. I just don't think it's going to be that great. That's why it's all the way down to number 8. Number 7, this one comes out on June 5th, so right in the middle of the summer. Well, I guess summer hasn't started yet. So right in the start of the summertime movie releases, I have Wonder Woman 1984. And I talked about this when the trailer came out. It looks reasonably cool. Visually, it looks cool. I love Gal Gadot. She's a great Wonder Woman. She's a great Diana Prince. However, why the fuck is Chris Pine back in the fucking movie? It makes no sense. We saw him die. We saw him fucking die. And the way they're gonna bring him back is probably gonna be stupid, and it fucks up the entire Listen, the DC Cinematic Universe was already fucked up enough, okay? You did not need to throw this extra fucking wrench in it. It kind of made sense with the first Wonder Woman why Ares disappointed Diana Prince so much that she decided to step away from humanity, and that's why nobody really knew who she was, and that's why there was only one fucking picture of her ever. And now, apparently, in 1984, she comes out and she's doing a whole lot of big fucking stuff with a whole lot of big fucking powers that I've never seen Wonder Woman have before. Let's just say it's weird. It's kind of weird, and I'm concerned because I didn't really like the first one, and I can rant about it incessantly, but I won't. Let's just say wasn't a fan of the first one. Second one looks kind of stupid, but anyway, let's move on. Number 6, we have The Kingsman. This one comes out on September 18th. It's basically a prequel to the Kingsman series. It's directed by the same director, Matthew Vaughn. Now the lead, I think it's going to be Ralph Fiennes and a kid. I don't really know who the kid is. But it looks really good. So far, that franchise has been it's been kind of stupid, but that's exactly what it intended to be. It never tried to be James Bond. It always tried to be its own thing. It tried to be ridiculous. It tried to be like a whole bunch of gadgety stuff. That's exactly what it's been. So if you're a fan, you're a fan. If you're not a fan, well then guess what? You didn't really get the point. So it looks like it's gonna be more of that, except now it's World War One. And I don't know why there's a thing going on right now about World War One, but I'm happy about it. World War One deserves a little bit more respect. Anywho, that's number 6. So let me reread to you from 10 to 6. So number 10, I had Birds of Prey. Number 9, I had Godzilla vs. Kong. Number 8, I had The Eternals. Number 7, I had Wonder Woman 1984. And number 6, The Kingsman. All right, so still with me so far? Let's move on to number 5. Number 5, this is a risk. This one I took a risk on, but hear me out. Coming out on July 3rd, we have Free Guy, which is... It's a new Ryan Reynolds movie where basically he plays an NPC character in an open world in an MMO video game, massive multiplayer online. That's what that means, and he kind of realizes that he becomes self-aware. Basically, the movie looks fucking hysterical. Now I can understand when I mentioned this movie on the air, I get why the crew did not understand why I picked this movie, but that's because they don't really understand the culture. A lot of the jokes are right on the nose. A lot of the stuff there are right on the fucking nose. The movie looks fucking hysterical. It looks hysterical. There's a whole bunch of jokes. Hopefully, it looks like it's been written by somebody who really understands video games and the MMO culture. But it's also Ryan Reynolds being Ryan Reynolds, which is always great. So, I'm taking a risk, but I'm very hopeful for it. I'm also very hopeful that they didn't put the best jokes in the trailer. So, I don't know. Keep an ear out for it, or watch the trailer. It looks really, really good. Anywho, number 4, and this one comes out on July 10th. We have Ghostbusters Afterlife. Now, I know that the previous Ghostbusters was a huge fucking dumpster fire, and it was horrible, and everybody wants to forget it. Hopefully, this one will do just that. Will do just that. This one, it's a Paul Rudd vehicle with Finn Wolfhard, which is he's Mike from Stranger Things, and the little girl from Fuller House, if you don't know her. What's her name? Annie Potts. The movie looks really good, and it's directed by Jason Reitman, who is the son of the original director of the original Ghostbusters. So this is a legacy thing for him. The movie, the plot basically is... I'll read you the plot, it'll be easier. A single mom and her 2 kids arrive in a small town. They begin to discover their connection to the original Ghostbusters and the secret legacy their grandfather left behind. So, fun notes here, fun things. The movie is basically about Spengler's grandkids discovering their legacy in the Ghostbusters world, right? Kind of, I believe that's fair. I believe that's a fair description from what I've seen in the trailer. So... So the movie is about legacy, and by the way, for those of you who you don't know, Spengler, the actor, he died a little while ago, and also the original director, Jason Reitman. Well, not Jason Reitman, the original director, died. So the legacy of the kids trying to follow their grandfather, it's kind of the same. It parallels the story of the director trying to follow his father's legacy and honor it. So I think it has an opportunity to have a lot of emotional weight. It has an opportunity for somebody who actually loves the franchise to come back and take control in it. Also, adding Paul Rudd is great for anything. So I'm excited for it. Honestly, I am very, very excited for it. It has a lot of potential, and I think it could have a lot of heart, which for me, it's always a big thing. So I'm very, very much looking forward to the actual sequel to Ghostbusters 2, Ghostbusters Afterlife. Anyway, moving on to number 3. This one comes out May 1st. We have Black Widow. Now, the trailer looked okay, and from what I can tell, this is going to be mostly live action stuff, minimal CGI, which is always great. And there's a reason why it's so high. I have a lot of concerns. The movie takes place between Captain America Civil War and Infinity War. So, I don't like when they just shoehorn in stories and they shoehorn in characters in the middle of a story. It kind of makes things make not sense. It doesn't, how can I say it? Makes things stupid, okay? Makes other things not make as much sense as they did before. It's really, really annoying. I hate it. I hate when they just try to pretend afterwards certain things happen or that they happen because of this. And also, afterwards, let's say they find a really cool character and they're like, well, why wasn't that fucking character helping afterwards? What were they fucking doing? Just poking their fucking eyes out? Wait the... It's really annoying for me. It's a pet peeve of mine. That's why prequels are so hard. That's why prequels are usually an issue for me. However, why is this new movie number 3 then? Why is it number 3? I don't really like Scarlett Johansson. I think that she's done a terrible Natasha Romanoff. She doesn't even try to make Russian accent. Not even a little bit. Not even mention vodka or anything. Nothing. It's very annoying. The Russian accent should be primordial. I don't even know what I'm going to say anymore. But yeah, she didn't even try the first time. So I've always been annoyed at that. However, the stunt team is really good. The Marvel stunt team is really good. It's the best in the world. And from what I've read, it sounds like they're trying to make this movie closer to what was Captain America Winter Soldier than anything else. Now, Winter Soldier is one of my favorite MCU movies because it's basically a spy movie with Captain America in it. So, if they're trying to make a spy movie with Black Widow in it, I'm all in. I'm all in. I love spy movies. So, if it's a movie that kind of keeps its feet on the ground but has some superhero stuff in it, I'm all in. So, it has potential. It has potential. It also has potential to disappoint, but I'm being positive here, guys. I'm trying to be positive. Anywho, like I said, May 1st. Look forward to that. Number 2 on my most anticipated movies of 2020, we have the new Christopher Nolan project, Tenet. Now, this one comes out on, July 17th. It's an action thriller from Christopher Nolan, and that's basically the only thing I know from it. Honestly, I saw the trailer. I loved it. It looked great. I did not understand a single thing that was happening in it. It's really weird, but... you know what? I can just read you the synopsis straight out of IMDb. An action epic revolving around international espionage, time travel, and evolution. So, there you go. If you guys know anything about me, you know that I hate fucking time travel. However, Christopher Nolan looks like he found a way to make it interesting. So far I've liked pretty much everything the dude's done. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. If Christopher Nolan manages to take on time travel, the thing that I fucking hate the most, and make me love it, kudos to you, good sir. You're the king of the world. Congratulations. I love you. So, anywho, I don't have much to say about that movie because I don't really understand the trailer. So, moving on. Number 1. This is my number 1 movie for 2020. Most anticipated geek movie. Potentially the best movie of the year. The one that I'm most excited for. Comes out December 18th. And we have Dune. Now, I know what most of you are thinking. What the fuck, Dune? What the fuck's Dune? Or they're remaking Dune? What the fuck? For those of you who don't know, Dune is probably I can't say it's the most influential. It's one of the most important sci-fi novels of all time, okay? The movie it's you love it or hate it. The original 80s movie, you love it or you hate it. I kind of tend to like it more than I tend to hate it. Obviously, I have some critiques of it, but overall, I thought it was pretty good. It's a I can't get into the 80s movie right now. However, here's the thing: very, very important franchise, very, very influential franchise for the sci-fi world. And honestly, I'll tell you what the kicker is. Why the reason I have it so high? The cast is phenomenal. All right, Timothée Chalamet might be the best working young director, best young actor working right now. If you haven't seen his work, check out Beautiful Boy. Well, he was nominated for an Oscar for Call Me By Your Name. Check out the movie Beautiful Boy. It's on Amazon Prime. It's him and Steve Carell. I don't know I was going to say Chris Cornell, but no. He's dead. No, Steve Carell. Those two have monster performances. If you want to check them out on Netflix, check out The King. As we were watching it, I was talking with my buddy, and we're like, dude, this dude would actually play an amazing Aegon Targaryen. He's like, fuck, you're right. But I'm not going to agree with you just because it wasn't my fucking opinion. So the dude is one of the best young working actors today. He's going to be the lead. For those of you who don't know, keep an ear open for that name, Timothée Chalamet. I think he will be a big deal in the future. He's already a big deal now. I think he'll be an even bigger deal in the future because he probably will get better as we move on. Anywho, the rest of the cast, we have Rebecca Ferguson. You might remember her from Mission Impossible. Oscar Isaac, that's Poe from Star Wars. Josh Brolin, fucking Thanos. Stellan Skarsgård, who's basically the clown in It. Pennywise the Clown. Dave Bautista from WWE, Batista Bombs. Also, Guardians of the Galaxy. My reflexes are too fast. I would catch it. Anyway, we have Zendaya, which, I'm not a big fan. Well, you know what? I don't like Zendaya, but I appreciated her MJ character in Far From. I was actually impressed that she made that character likable. I also like that it wasn't Mary Jane Watson. It was Michelle something else. So, all right, I'll give her okay. She's an okay actress, but as a person, Charlotte Rampling, who I have no idea who that is. Jason Momoa, who's Cal fucking Drogo, or I guess how people recognize him now more as Aquaman. And Javier Bardem, who, for those of you who don't know Javier Bardem is, if you guys watched No Country for Old Men, the villain, Anton Regime, I don't remember how you say his last name, but one of the greatest villains of all time. So the cast it's a monster cast. It's a phenomenal cast. The story it's based on is fucking bonkers, but here's the kicker. And you know what? I'll just read you, again, I'll read you the synopsis straight out of IMDb. As galactic powers, all right. As galactic powers vie for control of the only planet that produces a substance capable of allowing interstellar flight, a young messiah emerges to lead the planet's people to freedom. So honestly, that's I guess that's fair, but it's nowhere near. The story is very complex and it's nowhere close to doing it justice. But all right, I'll allow it. It's fine. I guess if you have to dumb it down, it's fine. All right. So why is this number one? Is it just the cast? Is it the story? No. Here's the kicker. The director of this movie is Denis Villeneuve. And I'm sure that's not how you say his name because I've heard him say his name and that's not how you say it. But if you want to read it in English, it says Denis Villeneuve. Something like that. This dude directed the movie Arrival, which I might remember with Jeremy Renner. And what's the girl's name? Redhead. She plays Lois Lane. What's her fucking name? It's gonna bug me. I'll just check it out. Amy Adams. Okay, Amy Adams. So Arrival is the movie with Amy Adams and Jeremy Renner. It's when aliens come to Earth and basically they're trying to communicate. That's pretty much the premise of the movie. It's a great fucking movie. It's long, but it's a great fucking movie. And it's visually fantastic. It's beautiful. I think it won an Oscar for best cinematography. The next movie this dude did is Blade Runner 2049, which I fucking loved. It was honestly my favorite movie of that year. And honestly, I love the original Blade Runner. I'm a huge film noir guy. I'm a huge Ridley Scott guy. But I thought that Blade Runner 2049 was actually better than the original. It was again my favorite movie of 2017, which is the year it came out. I fucking loved it. It made an homage to Cowboy Bebop in there. It made an homage to Accra. It made an homage to original Blade Runner. It was great, honestly. And again, I think it also won the Oscar for for best cinematography. So there's already rumblings about this being the most beautiful visual movie that comes out the next year. But dude, I'm telling you, this dude, Denis Villeneuve, he is really, really good at sci-fi. He's a really good storyteller. And if he manages to nail Dune, then holy fuck, give all the sci-fi projects to this dude from now on, because he's proven himself to be an extremely talented sci-fi director. Maybe the best. And I'm saying that knowing that Ridley Scott's still out there working. I'm saying that knowing that James Cameron's still out there working. But still, check it out. You know what? Check out the movies. I recently started rewatching Blade Runner 2049 just to make sure that I was right. Dude, I was right. That movie is like top-notch, amazing filmmaking. The filmmaking at its highest form. I love it. Anyway, that's it. That's it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed that. That is my list of the most anticipated geek movies of 2020. Next year we'll review it. We'll see how I did. I'm hoping I'm wrong about a few of these, but I don't think I will be. Anyway, let me know what you think of the list. Any comments, questions, or suggestions, like I said before, you can find me at Dario the Show on Instagram or at SuperDario_World. As always, thanks for listening, and I hope you have a great weekend.